all coming to the super like 10 years old. Hey! Hey there. Hey! I just want to see it. Hey! No. It's like, how does that better get where tells me to get? I'm looking for you to find out. I wasn't kidding you.
everyone. I want to welcome you to our remembrance event here, Memorial Day. You know, it's been going on many years. As you can see, we have a great loyal group of people. Turn it up. Hold on, I'm sorry. Usually they say I'm too loud. Can you hear me now, folks? If I go a little louder? I'm sorry about that. I apologize, okay? I want to welcome everyone here to our Memorial Day event. It's a great turnout. All the people, the police department, the fire department, our veterans here, and the families of people who have lost lives in all the different wars and conflicts that we've experienced these many years. As you may know, millions of people have died with all these conflicts over the years. The Civil War alone, where actually Decoration Day began, we lost over 622,000 soldiers back then. And since then, there's been millions of people have died through conflicts and wars. And hopefully we never have another one, but it's important to honor those that have fought and gave their lives for us and cared enough that they were willing to take the ultimate sacrifice. And I thank everyone for being here, especially when I see the young folks, the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, who will keep these memories alive for many years to come. Because remembering things helps you prevent things in the future. At this point, I'd like to ask Maeve McGuire and Jazzy Haas to come up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Will everyone please rise, please? Maeve McGuire, please, and Jazzy Haas. That's from Pack 23 and Troop 40053.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. That was excellent. At this point, can I have, I think Father Rafferty is here for the invocation. Oh, Father Gruben, please. Yes. Please step up, Father, please.
He means it. I haven't seen our new American Pope, but I think he sends his greetings and best wishes to all. And this particular prayer this morning is written by a Jesuit, Father John Veltri, and it's entitled, With Gratitude and Honor. Gracious God, on this Memorial Day, we remember and give thanks for those men and women in our armed forces who have given their lives in the service of our country. When the need was greatest, they stepped forward and did their duty to defend the freedoms that we enjoy and to win the same for others. O God, you yourself have taught us that no love is greater than that which gives itself for another. Our honored dead gave the most precious gift they had, life itself, for loved ones and neighbors, for comrades and country, and for all of us. Help us to honor their memory by caring for the family members they have left behind, by ensuring that their wounded comrades are properly cared for, by being watchful caretakers of the freedom for which they gave their lives, and by pledging that no other young men and women follow them to a soldier's grave unless the reason is worthy and the cause is just. Holy One, help us to remember that freedom is not free. There are times when its cost is indeed dear. Never let us forget those who paid so high a price to ensure that freedom would be our legacy. though their names may fade with the passing of generations, may we never forget what they have done. Help us to be worthy of their sacrifice. Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon them. May they rest in peace. May their souls and the souls of all the faithful departed through the mercy of God rest in peace. And may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord let his face shine upon you. May the Lord look upon you with kindness and grant you peace and happiness. Amen.
Thank you, Father, very much. At this point, I'd like to bring up Nova Ben Shlomo to sing the national anthem, please. Nova, step up, please.
Detail, present, on.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Nova. She's also, as you can see, one of our local firefighters here in Suffern. And that's exactly how I would have sang it, by the way. But I figured I don't want to lose my voice for doing too much talking today. At this point, I'd like to actually welcome my village board members here. Deputy Mayor Joe-Corrigan in front, Trustee Hogue, and Trustee Alpert in the front row here, okay? We also have Michael Specht, who always supports us here in Suffern. We have Legislator Malowitz here. We have Mayor Joe Terci in the back row there. And we have Trustee Dave McNally there. And the king just arrived, Ed did, okay? Make sure we get a nice seat in the front row for him, okay? I'd also like to mention, I would like to thank the veterans, the American Legion Post 859, which I'm a member to, on how supportive they are to this community. Always there whenever we need something from them. The commander there, we have had Casper there, the incoming commander, Mr. McClintock, and the deputy commander and a former mayor, Mayor Markounis, over to my left here, okay? I also have our police chief here, Andy Loughlin, there. We also have Danny Hyman, the Ramapo police chief here in the crowd, and other police officers here with us. Also, the fire department chief, Mastrullo, and the fire department that are there guarding us when we're asleep at night, always there to protect us. And I thank all the firefighters there for the great job that they do, the young and the old. We have a lot of new ones coming on, and I heard they're very good and they're very sharp. They're actually putting the older guys out of the way, I hear. That's the word on the street. But is there anyone I missed? I just want to, again, but mostly I thank the whole public that's here. And I'm sorry, the band here from Suffern High School that did a tremendous job there, coming up, run by Randy Ford. The top players and a great school system, Suffern High School there. And we also have another trustee from Hilburn just showed up. Mrs. Tarantino just showed up. So we got Hilburn in the house here, okay? And we also have Sean Glendering here. He is representing Congressman Lawler. Congressman Lawler's in Washington. Hopefully he's bringing back Suffern the most amount of money he can. All right? That's where we live. At this point, again, thank Cathy Mills for always assisting me in the DPW, but I'd like to move on. We'll do our actual ceremony, okay? At this point, will Joe Hunt come up to help with the flag raising and lowering, please? What we'll do a ceremony. We'll do the flag. We'll do the flag raising and lowering. Then we'll do the Suffern High School do taps, and then we'll do a 3-gun salute. That'll be the order we'll do, and then ring of the bells. At this point, can I have Olivia D'Alessio and Jada Williams, please? Do the taps, please. Very much. I just want to remind people that at this point, I'm going to bring up Edmore Kunis here to read the names for the soldiers that have passed away, that were from Suffern here. I'll just remind everyone that Memorial Day is for soldiers and people that had passed away already. Veterans Day is for soldiers that are in the military now, and it can be past soldiers, if you were retired or out of the military. And Armed Forces Day is for people that are actually in the Armed Forces now. So this is more of a solemn, occasion, honoring those that passed away. But I will point out that in the beginning, when they did the events, it started out with putting flowers on graves. That's where it all started from, putting the flowers on graves, and they'd actually have picnics at the grave sites. So that's why when I became mayor, I actually brought back those actual picnics, or we want to call them barbecues, whatever you did, because it was a tradition that existed way back when, in the beginning of when they started doing these events. There's actually 20 different places they say it started. Some say Waterloo, that's what the president claimed, and other people claimed in other places, but I'll be claiming it started in Suffern after this night. I'll be writing a letter for that, all right? So, at this point, we have right here, we have Olivia D'Alessio and Jada, no, we have you're going to read a minute, okay? Come say your name.
Deirdre.
That's Deirdre.
Connor.
And that's Connor, okay? And they're going to ring the bell as the mayor pronounces the names, okay?
Florence Campbell, Henry DeBon, Abraham Doyle, John Frank, George Lickenstein, William Maxwell, Gruben McElwee, Salvatore Vittel, Harry Wanamaker, Louis Atina, Charles Barrett, Henry Hoya, Robert Bunting, Wilmer Bunting, Richard Collins, Robert Coe, Morris Cunningham, Theodore Cunningham, Willard Dawley, Louis DePato, Archie Ekins, James Ford, William Frank, Gerald Frost, Frank Green, Jay Harrell, Richard Keenan, Thomas LaFrance, Mark LaPola, William McDermott, Ira Nicholas, Henry Paul, Thomas Sutherland, Jack Velli, Robert Williams, Joseph Wysocki, Stanley Tyrell, Robert Bates, and John Horton. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Great job. Thank you, Mayor Markounis. That had to do with World War I, World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. At this time, I'd like to ask some people to come up. I want to do the placing of the wreaths. If I could please have County Executive Day, please come up. Mr. O'Brien, can you come and assist him with that one? Also, Supervisor Specht, if you come up, please. The wreaths are up there. Place a wreath. Mr. Horton there, please come up. The Horton family's been here for many years. They had a relative that passed away through the Vietnam War. Fire Chief Denis Mastrullo, please.
Washington Avenue, one side, Officer Club, Washington Avenue.
Thank you very much, everyone. That's a tradition that goes with Memorial Day, and it's to honor it. At this point, I'd like to call up Lieutenant Billy Simurra from the Suffern Police Department. He is also a Sergeant Major in the Air Force, and he's going to read the Medal of Honor citation, a tradition that we started some years back and we keep carrying on.
If I could, I just want to thank Mayor Curley and the Village Board for the honor of addressing the crowd. And I also want to acknowledge with the utmost respect my fellow servicemen and women for the sacrifice, putting your hand up and taking the oath. Master Sergeant John Chapman, the President of the United States of America, in the name of Congress, takes pride in presenting the Medal of Honor posthumously to Technical Sergeant John A. Chapman, United States Air Force, for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of life above and beyond the call of duty, Technical Sergeant Chapman distinguished himself by extraordinary heroism as an Air Force Special Tactics Combat Controller of the 24th Special Tactics Squadron, attached to a Navy Sea, Air, and Land team conducting reconnaissance operations in Takur Ghar, Afghanistan on 4 March 2002. During insertion, the team's helicopter was ambushed, causing a teammate to fall into an entrenched group of enemy combatants below. Sergeant Chapman and the team voluntarily reinserted onto the snow-capped mountain into the heart of a known enemy stronghold to rescue one of their own. Without regard for his own safety, Sergeant Chapman immediately engaged, moving in the direction of the closest enemy position despite coming under heavy fire from multiple directions. He fearlessly charged an enemy bunker up a steep incline in thigh-deep snow and into hostile fire, directly engaging the enemy. Upon reaching the bunker, Sergeant Chapman assaulted and cleared the position, killing all enemy occupants. With complete disregard for his own life, Sergeant Chapman deliberately moved from cover only 12 meters from the enemy and exposed himself once again to attack a second bunker, from which an emplaced machine gun was firing on his team. During this assault from an exposed position directly in the line of intense fire, Sergeant Chapman was struck and injured by enemy fire. Despite severe mortal wounds, he continued to fight relentlessly, sustaining a violent engagement with multiple enemy personnel before making the ultimate sacrifice. By his heroic actions and extraordinary valor, sacrificing his life for the lives of his teammates, Technical Sergeant Chapman upheld the highest traditions of military service and reflected great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force.
Lieutenant Simurra and Master Sergeant Simurra. At this point, can I have Pat Casper from the American Legion up, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, veterans, friends of veterans, and families of veterans. Society likes to use the word hero. There are sports heroes, action heroes, and political heroes. But there is any group more deserving of the title, the more than 1 million men and women who have sacrificed their lives in defense of this nation. Including among them was a gridiron hero named Jack Loomis. Jack was an All-American football star, as well as a terrific center fielder for Baylor University. He attended a New York Giants training camp and signed with the football team as a free agent. He was playing in his 8th professional game when the scoreboard flashed that there had been an attack at Pearl Harbor. Jack knew what to do. After the team's championship game against the Chicago Bears, he enlisted in the Marine Corps Reserves. It was as a Marine that Jack would go from sports hero to genuine American hero. He has since been inducted into the New York Giants Ring of Honor, and that is just a small part of his story. He has since been on February 19, 1945, Jack Loomis was among the first to land at Iwo Jima. A leader of a rifle platoon, First Lieutenant Loomis slowly but relentlessly advanced with his men against entrenched enemy forces. He disregarded wounds inflicted upon him by grenade shrapnel and other small arms fire. He neutralized enemy soldiers positioned in 3 pillboxes before eventually stepping on a landmine. Jack attempted to stand even though his legs and lower torso were badly mangled. Lieutenant Loomis said, quote, "Well, Doc, the New York Giants just lost a mighty good today," unquote. He died on March 8, 1945, and America lost a mighty good hero. For his actions at Iwo Jima 80 years ago, Jack Loomis was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. Lieutenant Jack Loomis was one of the most famous heroes of one of history's most famous battles. But there are so many others that we can also remember. People who died while fulfilling their military missions. Navy Lieutenant Commander Lindsay Evans and Lieutenant Serena Wildman conducted multiple combat missions against the Houthi terrorists in 2023 and 2024. The aviators both earned multiple combat medals for their actions in the Middle East. On October 15, 2024, The two trailblazing pilots lost their lives when their EA-18G Growler jet crashed during a training exercise near Washington's Mount Rainier. Even within the safety of the United States, the military is an inherently dangerous profession comprised of professionals willing to sacrifice for us, sacrifice for others. This was the final act of yet another hero, Army medic Calvin Bouknight. He died so others could live, said one of his eulogers at a ceremony that occurred last year at Arlington National Cemetery. The speaker was not exaggerating. Specialist Bouknight was killed in 1965 while shielding and protecting 4 of his fellow soldiers in Vietnam. He was posthumously awarded the Silver Star. Approval for the esteemed award was slow, a common practice to which most people familiar with the military medal process can attest. As a result of his original gravestone had no acknowledgement of his Silver Star, it was through the determination of other veterans that the injustice was finally corrected and his gravestone updated in 2024. A native of Washington, D.C., Specialist Bouknight lived only 24 years, but his legacy is still remembered 60 years after his passing. On the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund website, Bouknight was remembered by his platoon leader. His fellow soldier wrote, quote, "I witnessed Specialist 5 Bouknight's actions, which resulted in his receiving a posthumous Silver Star. I submitted a statement for a Medal of Honor, but it was rejected, since in the deadly confusion, I was the only witness to his intrepid gallantry. I will never forget those moments where a conscientious objector rose up and became a dynamic hero in the face of deadly odds," unquote. 50 years ago, the Vietnam War ended. Much like our withdrawal from Afghanistan, history will be kinder to those who fought the war than it will be to the policymakers who managed it. For it is the veterans, not the politicians, who give us our freedom. The true heroes are not the quarterbacks who successfully execute Hail Mary passes, or the baseball players who hit walk-off home runs. It isn't the Hollywood actor who looks good dodging imaginary bullets and fake explosions. It is others who risk, and far too often lose their lives protecting and defending all of us. The heroes that we honor today are not exclusive to any gender, race, or religion. They come from all economic classes and backgrounds. They hail from all 50 states, and some have migrated from other countries. They are a diverse group wedded in the belief that America is a nation worth dying for. The heroes that I mentioned had earned prestigious awards and military decorations. But just like the soldiers known only to God, countless veterans have not been recognized for their bravery due to lack of surviving witnesses who could document their final acts. They are no less heroic. We are gathered so that we can remember their sacrifices and celebrate the fact that throughout our history, this great country produces such men and women of honor. We must not forget them. We should also remember the proclamation signed by a distinguished veteran in 1955. Quote, "I, Dwight D. Eisenhower, President of the United States of America, do hereby proclaim Memorial Day, Monday, the 30th of May, 1955, as a day of nationwide prayer for permanent peace," unquote. It is a prayer that every American and every decent human should share, not just on this Memorial Day 2025, but the rest of the year as well. Now, if I may share a few personal thoughts. I have been a member of the American Legion here in Suffern for a little over 20 years. I have held quite a few positions in our post, county, district, department, national, and even international levels. I am stepping back to spend more time with my beautiful wife and family, both near and far. I cannot express to you what an honor it has been to be part of this community and this organization. To stand side by side with my veteran brothers and sisters to make friendships that will last a lifetime, both in the Legion and in our community. I pray that I have made even a small difference. The definition of ceremony is, and I quote, "a formal religious or public occasion, typically one celebrating a particular event or anniversary." Memorial Day is not a ceremony. Today is the most expensive holiday on the calendar. Every hot dog, every burger, every spin around the lake, or drink with friends and family is a debt purchased by others. This is not about all who serve. That day comes on November 11th. This one is to honor those who have paid in life and blood, whose moms never saw them again, whose dads wept in private, whose wives raised kids alone, and whose kids only remember them from pictures. This isn't simply a day off. This is a day to remember that others paid for every free breath you get to take. Thank you for being here. God bless you. God bless America. And may God bless our Gold families, Gold Star families.
He's also my commander. I'm a member of the American Legion with him, and Mr. McClintock is going to be the new commander starting shortly right here too, so he'll be here with us. Okay, he's an old-time Suffern guy, much older than me anyway. So. At this point, can I have Ed Day please come up and say a few words if you like? And I really want to put a special thank you to Ed Day because he has so many events to go to this county. If you look at the calendar between yesterday and today, it's like never ending. So I really appreciate him coming and showing support for Suffern.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I want to thank you all for having me here today. That's number two. As important, is remember 1.3 million members of the military that gave their lives for the freedom we have and find it living in the Is that better? Thank you. So today we pause and we say a prayer for those who lost. As I said, 1.3 million members of the military are gone. But yet, their faces are frozen in time. Those who lost friends, fellow soldiers, understand that. One of the things that wears so much on our soldiers who come home is trying to grapple with that age-old question. How come I got home, my buddy did not? They're left with memories of soldiers past, memories that freeze faces in time. That young man who took a hill at 18 years of age, that face stays the same. He's never changes in the eyes and the minds of those we serve with. So what leaves us with one thing, support. We need to support each other, and frankly, to come back to Suffern again, to watch what you all do when it comes to the military. You have set the bar for this county in so many ways, and I want to thank you personally as a military dad for everything that you have done to embrace the military and to understand. I understand we have Gold Star moms here today. Are they here? Well, I want to, as a Blue Star family, I want to make sure that I acknowledge those moms for the loss that they suffered. This does get difficult at times. My apologies for pausing so often. But for these and so many other reasons, we have to continue that support just as you do now. And never forget that those soldiers lost are right up there right now looking down upon us and smiling, looking at what you all are doing here today in honor of them and knowing that at some point families will be united again. May God bless all of you here today. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was excellent. County Exec Day. At this point, Ms. Malowitz would like to say something. He's our local legislature.
Thank you, Mayor Curley and the village board and all the village employees who helped with this event. What Commander Casper said reminded me of a conversation I had a few years ago with Alan Moskin, who was a Rockland resident and a World War II veteran who served under General Patton. Anytime somebody called him a hero, he said, "No, I'm no hero." The inevitable follow-up question was, if you're not a hero, who is? And he would always say, it was the people who didn't come home. And that resonated with me and continues to. And he always told me, whatever you do with your career, he says, make sure you always take care of the veterans. And I'm honored to say that we in the legislature, working with our County Executive Day, were able to increase the amount of funding that we give to every VFW post throughout the county to help them put on events like today, and to help them with everything else they do throughout the year to contribute to our communities. And also to the parents of all the young people that are here today, thank you for bringing them. And to understand that this is more than just a 3-day weekend, it's a day to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice to make sure that we can continue to enjoy all the freedoms that we have. So thank you all, God bless.
Get this wrong, okay? I guess I'm just going to mention a couple things about, I thank everyone for coming. This is some great turnout. I would say it's one of the best turnouts in the county. It shows the patriotism of the people here. And just talk about a little bit about the history of where we're standing right now, okay? One, Washington Avenue that intersects with Lafayette Avenue. During the American Revolution, where Suffern Furniture was, there was something called the Suffern Tavern that John Suffern owned. George Washington stayed there. Alexander Hamilton stayed there. Aaron Byrd stayed there, okay? It was, General Lafayette stayed there. It was a very important part of America coming to be. And then also many soldiers died, okay? This monument here was put up, this was called the Triangle here. There's all grassy around us here. And this monument was put up just to identify the two separate roads here. Then in 1908 was when this was built. And then in 1921, the local mayor, I think his name was Porter at the time, he actually got a fund together, and they put, that's what they call a doughboy soldier from World War I. That's what they call the soldiers back in World War I, doughboy soldiers. So there's rumors that he had a grenade. He never had a grenade. During the Vietnam War, his rifle was taken down, different protests, but it was put back up. But right on this road here, the French troops, 5,000 French troops stayed right on this road right in front of us on Washington Avenue. The French that came to, to help liberate, America. And they actually talked about the Mawa River and how we had great frogs, because it was a delicacy in France. So they actually like eating our frogs from the Mawa River. That's by Squires Gate and Lonigan Drive and all those things. So there's a lot of history. The first mayor actually his name was George Washington Suffern, that owned a house right behind us there. They had, at some time, they had knocked down the house there, the original Suffern Tavern, because that was like a place where all the top generals and a lot of planning was done as they traveled to what they call the Ramapo Pass, which actually traveled up through Hilburn up there. So because it wasn't a 202, they didn't have 17 in all these roads. But there's a lot of history in Suffern, and I'm not discounting, because people died in all these different conflicts. The Mexican American, we go on and how many conflicts they have and how many wars they have, and hopefully we never have any more. But there's a ton of history here, and the 250-year anniversary of the American Revolution will be next year. And Suffern will put on a good display of our pride and our patriotism for the American Revolution, what we had in part of that. Actually, in the Civil War, it's believed that on these grassy knolls over on this side, that actually they weren't actually in the military yet, but they would drill over there and practice for when they got called into the Union Army. So there's a lot of history here, okay? And I just want you to know that, as we all know, listen, these are the people that are loyal here. These are the people that do care, and these are the people here that are going to remember, okay? But just to add a little touch, these Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts are just absolutely tremendous to us, okay? So for November 11th, I'm gonna go ahead, the village board and myself, and not do do donations and stuff. We're gonna start a contest for November 11th, 11/11, where you go ahead and whoever writes the best speech will have a first prize, second prize, and third prize. The first prize would be, and you give it to your group, you can share some of it yourselves. First prize would be $2,000, the second prize would be $500, the third prize would be $250. Because I think having the young remember all these things is important. And it's about who writes the best speech, or what the value and the meaning of those are. And I just heard Ed Day say he's going to donate the first $25. Thank you, Ed. Okay? So we'll get this, we'll get Mike. Oh, $30, Mike. You're a good man. 40, and Jesse Malowitz too. But that's the kind of guys they are, whether they know it or not. So they're going to donate. But I think keeping the kids involved is our biggest point. Okay. Now, in the early days of having it started with putting flowers on grave. That's where it actually started from. It actually is about putting flowers on grave and where it happened. But at those grave sites, they would also have, as I said, picnics. So that's why we brought it back in Suffern. So that's why we brought it back. We brought the past to the present. Huh? So just so one more last thing, at 3 o'clock on Memorial Day, every day nationally, everyone, if everyone could just. I was an altar boy, and I'm not getting in trouble. Okay? But every day at 3 o'clock, it's a national thing where you should have a moment of silence for everyone that passed away. So it's not talked about a lot, you know. So even if you're out had a barbecue, or you're just sitting home, do something. If you remember, one of you remember at 3 o'clock, just a moment of silence for all those that passed to sacrifice for us. Because as we all know, freedom isn't free. And thank you very much. Across the street, we have a nice little picnic across the street. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and different things. We welcome everyone to come, and we'd like you to come. It's about bringing a community together too, and honoring those before us. At this point, I'd just like benediction from Father Gruben, and then we can go across the street. Thank you.
I thought we were going to settle for the bells, but we'll have a benediction in any case. May Almighty God bless and keep you. May the Lord let his face shine upon you. May the Lord look upon you with kindness and grant you his peace. Amen.
Thank you very much. Please join the barbecue if you'd like. Thank you. Thank you very much.